Next on Y News. Thousands of passengers flock to bus terminals, airports, and seaports to travel for their long holiday. Over 8,000 road crashes this year caused by human error, based on the PNP Highway Patrol Group's report. The Food and Drug Administration warns the public on use of toxic candles. The Department of Health plans to propose sin tax on salty products. And a woman gives birth to a healthy baby boy amid Tuesday's magnitude 6.6 earthquake in Mindanao. Good evening. Ninoy Aquino International Airport Management expects the number of air passengers to flock to the airport today to reach more than 120,000. Airport Authority advises travelers to go to NAIA 3 to 4 hours before the expected flight schedule. From Pasay City, Mai Bermudez will tell us why live. Mai, go ahead.
Travelers continue to flock the Ninoy Aquino International Airport today until this evening. Now, terminal management says that they expect the number of passengers to reach more than 120,000. Now, as of the moment, shorter queues can be seen here at their check-in counters. Same situation can be seen at their entrance areas. But majority of passengers from domestic and international flights occupy the entrance area. The terminal management says the situation may not change until later tonight as travelers prepare for the holiday break. Some of those we talked to earlier do not have complaints yet in terms of airline service, but some experienced flight delays and are expecting heavy traffic on their way home.
Okay lang naman pa. Kaya lang medyo lang na-delay ng 30 minutes air traffic.
Traffic lang. Dito, wala pa kasi sundo ko eh. Pero okay lang.
Lagi naman traffic dito sa Pilipinas. Sanay na.
The terminal management advises the public to head on early to terminals 3 hours before their scheduled flight for domestic destinations and 4 hours for international flights. No delays or cancellations are announced yet by the MIAA. Back to you.
Thank you, Mai Bermudez, reporting live from Pasay City. The Philippine Coast Guard and the Ninoy Aquino International Airport Management report that thousands began traveling since last weekend ahead of the long holiday. Despite this, an influx of commuters is expected beginning tomorrow. Joe Anano reports why.
Most of the air passengers traveling via the Ninoy Aquino International Airport or NAIA have taken their flights since Sunday. From October 27 to October 29, almost 319,000 air passengers took domestic flights and over 350,000 flew via international flights. Meanwhile, based on the monitoring of the Philippine Coast Guard, more than 40,000 passengers have left from various seaports nationwide. 417 of those are passengers from Metro Manila and Central Luzon. Almost 20,000 are from the Visayas region, more than 200 in Palawan, over 6,000 from Southern Tagalog, 800 from the Bicol region, 2,500 from Southern Mindanao, and almost 5,000 from Northern Mindanao. The PCG has a reminder to seaport passengers.
Na kung maaari, kung talagang hindi na po talaga kasya, ay wag muna po nating ipupumilit na sumakay. Dahil po ipagbabawal talaga ng Philippine Coast Guard yung sobra po tayo sa bilang ng mga pasahero na nakatalaga ng ating reglamento.
Since travelers are expected to surge by tomorrow, the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA advises motorists to expect much heavier traffic in Metro Manila.
Wala naman tayo pinagmamadali. Ang haba niya, hanggang linggo po yan. Malis kayo ng maaga o daan-daan lang, di ba? Basta make sure lang na makaiwas tayo sa aksidente, magre-route tayo. Kung may sementeryo, iwas na lang tayo.
John Ano, UNTV News and Rescue, Makati City.
Various government agencies were present today at the Araneta City Bus Port to perform their duties for the welfare of passengers who will take a bus for their holiday trips. Asher Kadapan Jr. will tell us why.
13 drivers of various bus companies at the Araneta City Bus Port underwent the breath analyzer testing conducted by the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA that began this morning. MMDA spokesperson Celine Pialago says this move aims to ascertain if bus drivers are not driving under the influence of alcohol. All the drivers tested negative for alcohol content based on the results shown by the breath analyzer equipment.
Well, pag nag-positive po yung driver sa alcohol content, i-hold po siya ng Araneta Center at kailangan po siyang papahingahin at papapalitan po ng driver para po tuluyang makabiyahe yung unit po ng nasabing bus.
The Land Transportation Office or LTO, on the other hand, inspected the lighting, tires and brakes of the passenger buses. While the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board or LTFRB checked the roadworthiness of bus units. According to LTFRB Chairman Martin Delgra III, there should be security and dash cameras on the bus. Otherwise, the penalty is a fine of 5,000 pesos.
I have reminded them na kung mag-overspeeding yung driver o kaya hindi maayos yung pagdadrive, sabi ko sa mga pasahero, sila na mismo ang sisita sa driver. Sila na mismo. Kasi they're there on the road, in the bus, while they are traveling.
The Movie and Television Review and Classification Board or MTRCB checked the movies or TV programs shown on the bus units. According to MTRCB Chairperson Maria Rachel Arenas, only the movies rated PG or parental guidance must be shown. Personnel from the Bureau of Fire Protection, Interagency Council for Traffic or IACT, and Quezon City Department of Public Order and Safety or DPOS are also on standby in the area. The Philippine National Police have also deployed personnel to maintain peace and order at the bus port until Monday. The bus port management advises passengers who will take a bus for their holiday trips to refrain from bringing bladed weapons, flammable items, and alcoholic beverages and other prohibited items. Asher Kadapan Jr., UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The PNP Highway Patrol Group reminds motorists to drive cautiously this long holiday. This as data shows that over 8,000 road crashes this year were caused by human error. Leah Ilagan will tell us why.
Human factor or human error in driving is the main cause of road accidents in the country this year. Philippine National Police Highway Patrol Group or PNP-HPG data show that from January to September 2019, 8,809 road crashes were caused by human factor. 389 were due to mechanical defect. 240 were due to bad road conditions, and 281 were due to other factors, including animal crossing and calamities. Human factor includes bad overtaking, bad turning, speeding, self-incident, drunk driving, using cell phones while driving, hit and run, and overloading. HPG Director, Police Brigadier General Junardo Carlos advises the public to be alert and observe safe driving practices while traveling.
So, keep a safer distance, correct speed in traveling. Kapag na medyo slow ang movement ng traffic, ay meron tayong safe distance at saka hindi mabilis yung ating pagpapatakbo. So, we will be in the streets to assist them.
The PNP-HPG will be deploying almost 700 personnel to assist thousands of motorists and commuters who are expected to troop to their hometowns this long holiday. Carlos said that some of his men will be assigned in major thoroughfares to address security concerns and other needs of motorists and commuters.
We will be deploying our available personnel to look at the flow of the traffic, yung exodus of the public, the motorists from Metro Manila going to the provinces.
The rest will be assigned on roads leading to cemeteries and other areas where people usually go to take advantage of the long weekend for a vacation. More than 35,000 policemen will be deployed across the country to secure cemeteries. Police commanders have also been tasked to strictly implement measures to prevent trouble in cemeteries. Leah Ilagan, UNTV News and Rescue, Camp Crame.
Candles nowadays are designed with beautiful colors and shapes and sweet and calming scents. But did you know that the public is advised to avoid using candles with metal wicks? Aiko Miguel explains why.
Beware of toxic candles. This is the warning of the Food and Drug Administration as many Filipinos are about to burn candles during the holiday this weekend. According to FDA Officer in Charge Health Undersecretary Eric Domingo, they have earlier issued a public reminder not to patronize candles with metal wick. Such candles have been confirmed to have lead content, he said. Lead in candles causes poisoning, which happens when smoke from a candle with metal wick is inhaled.
Yung lead kasi pag nalalanghap natin yan, then pwedeng maging cause ng sakit yan, particularly yung mga neurological illness. So ito yung natin, warning lang natin sa ating mga kabayan, tignan nila mabuti yung kanilang binibiling kandila.
Some of the harmful effects of lead are the slow brain development, behavioral problems, difficulty in studying, and hormonal disruption.
Yung accumulation in the body causes, pag ini-inhale natin, pag tagal na ginagamit natin, nagkakakos ng neurological problems. Pero hindi naman, siguro yung hilo mostly sa amoy yon or sa additives or kung merong allergy dun sa products na sinusunog. Pero yung mas nakakatakot kasi talaga yung lead content.
Candles with different colors and designs are pleasing to the eye. But it is advisable to just choose to buy ordinary candles because they are surely made of less chemicals. People with asthma are also reminded to be extra careful not to inhale smoke from candles. Allergic rhinitis may also be triggered by inhalation of smoke from burning candles. Avoid places with heavy smoke and fume. Always bring a mask to avoid asthma attacks and continuous sneezing. Experts say it is not bad to recycle candles, especially when the wicks are not made of metal. Also, avoid playing with candles to avoid fire incidents. Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
Many Filipinos have begun traveling to their provinces for the coming holiday this November. Find out how to ensure safety before, during, and after the holiday trip. Arlene Delgado reports.
There's no other great way to spend the holiday but to enjoy it while being safe. Here are some tips to ensure safety during the holiday this weekend. If you are going to leave your house, make sure that all appliances and electronic gadgets such as cell phones and battery chargers are unplugged. The LPG tank in your kitchen and all faucets in the house must be free from leaks. Every door and window and other possible entry points must be properly locked. It is advisable to activate closed-circuit television or CCTV or burglar alarm. If you have a lawn or backyard, it's preferable to clean it before leaving for the holiday. Keep valuable items away from the window too, to prevent them from being easily stolen. And ask your most trusted neighbor to look after your house and advise your date of return. If you won't use your motorcycle to travel, park it inside your house. You don't want to come home and find it stolen. But if you're driving your vehicle, be sure to check your car's blow bag or brake, lights, oil, water, battery, air, and gas before traveling. Don't forget to bring all the necessary documents for your vehicle and its driver. If the destination is far, it's best to designate a second driver. When taking public transportation instead, travel light. Avoid carrying a lot of bags to avoid inconvenience. Arrive early at the transport terminal to avoid long queues and the crowd. Check if your ticket and, of course, your money are safely kept in your hand-carried bag. Avoid wearing luxurious clothes or accessories. Avoid making at the moment or ATM posts on social media. If you observed a suspicious item or person, remain calm and seek the attention of authorities. The Philippine National Police advised the public to stay alert and remain vigilant.
Lumapit sa pinakamalapit na barangay tanod or ating pulis or kahit sino mang mga dumaraan ay tumawag tayo ng pansin para nang sa gayon ay mapigilan ang pagtatangka ng mga masasamang loob.
Holiday travel can be expensive and stressful, but these tips can help you travel safely and return home with a smile. Horleen Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue.
Welcome back to Y News. We pick up to where Angelo Castro III left off. I'm Alex Baltazar, and here are the headlines. Portions of Cavite-Laguna Expressway partially open for long weekend. Over 80 buildings in Davao City suffer damages in Mindanao earthquake. A woman in Davao del Sur gives birth to a healthy baby boy amid Tuesday's magnitude 6.6 earthquake in Mindanao. The Department of Health plans to propose sin tax on salty products. And Wish 1075's creator and innovator Kuya Daniel Razon considers the FM stations hitting the 7 million subscribers mark a Filipino pride. Good evening. The Cavite-Laguna Expressway, or CALEX, is partially open in time for the expected long holiday exodus of motorists. Sherwin Kulubong reports.
Good news to those who will travel to Cavite and Laguna this long holiday. The Department of Public Works and Highways, or DPWH, has partially opened the first segment of the Cavite-Laguna Expressway, or CALEX, today. The Mamplasan to Santa Rosa Tagaytay Road is open until 10 p.m. today, according to the Metro Pacific Tollway Corporation's announcement. The Metro Pacific Tollways Corporation announces today that from October 31 to November 2, this segment will be accessible from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. And beginning November 3, the expressway will still be accessible from Sunday to Thursday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. with an extended time on Fridays and Saturdays from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Napakalaking bagay sa traffic lalo na ngayon. Dahil this weekend, syempre ang expectation natin ay makakaroon ng heavy traffic dahil maraming lalabas sa Maynila.
The first 10-kilometer section partially opened stretches from the Mamplasan Barrier in Binyan, Laguna to the Santa Rosa Tagaytay interchange, but once fully operational, this stretch is expected to decongest Laguna Boulevard and Aguinaldo Highway. According to DPWH Secretary Mark Villar, around 10,000 vehicles are expected to traverse the section, which cuts down a usually 45-minute drive by the Mamplasan to Santa Rosa Tagaytay Road to 10 minutes. The DPWH is determined to complete the Cavite-Laguna Expressway project by 2020 as planned. Sherwin Kulubong, UNTV News and Rescue, Binyan, Laguna.
Work in government offices will only be until 12 noon on Thursday, October 31, to allow more time and opportunity for employees to prepare for their travel to respective provinces for the long holiday break. The half-day work suspension was contained in Memorandum Circular Number 69 signed by Executive Secretary MMDA. However, government agencies whose functions involve the delivery of basic and other vital services are exempted from work suspension. President Rodrigo Duterte earlier declared November 1 and 2 as special non-working holidays. Meanwhile, the Manila City government ordered on Wednesday the suspension of classes and local government work tomorrow. Class suspension applies to all levels in public and private school. The Department of Health, or DOH, said it is in favor of banning electronic cigarettes or e-cigarettes, stressing that it has no proven positive effect on its users' health. DOH Undersecretary Eric Domingo, in a palace briefing, also bared that a setter whom he refused to identify is already crafting a bill aimed at banning vapes or e-cigarettes.
If the DOH had its way, we would go for an outright ban, no? And I think there is a possible legislation that will be proposed sa Senate and maybe in the House, and we will support it, no? Kasi talagang safe is no use of the product.
The health official also noted that the Philippines should follow the lead of some countries that already banned e-cigarettes. Currently, there are over 1 million Filipinos, mostly youth, using e-cigarettes. President Rodrigo Duterte is serious in discouraging his daughter Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio not to run for president, according to Malacanang. The palace adds, however, the presidential daughter can decide for herself. Rosalie Cos reports why.
Presidential daughter Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio has denied several times she has an ambition to be her father's successor. But there was one time when the lady mayor said she will make her final decision on the issue in 2021. President Rodrigo Duterte, however, has advised his daughter several times not to run for president.
Sabi ko sa anak ko, si Inday, dahil huwag kang pumasok dyan.
There was even one time when the chief executive said in public that if he were to be asked, he would not let his daughter run for a national position.
Kasi ini-imber na ng sabi ko, pero do not be offended, the Filipino people. Wala kang makuhang kabutihan dyan para sa sarili mo. You just stay there in Malacanang. You have a 200 pesos salary, 200,000. Yun lang ang iyo. Trabaho ka hanggang umaga, karaming pirmahan.
For Malacanang, the president is serious with his advice for her daughter. The palace says, however, Mayor Inday can decide for herself.
Mayor Sara is her own person. She will decide for herself. But she always takes the advice of the father.
Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue, Malacanang.
Over 80 public and privately owned buildings in the southern Philippine city of Davao were damaged following the magnitude 6.6 earthquake that struck several parts of Mindanao yesterday. Davao City residents are advised to remain vigilant. Hazel Ferzas clarifies why.
Teams from Davao City's City Disaster Risk Reduction, composed of engineers and other technical personnel, were deployed today to assess establishments affected by the magnitude 6.6 earthquake that struck parts of Mindanao yesterday. According to Rodrigo Bastillo, operations head of the Davao City CDRRMO, over 80 establishments sustained minor and major damages. Some public schools also sustained minor cracks due to the earthquake. The CDRRMO is letting the school authorities as well as Department of Education engineers decide whether the affected school facilities are still safe to use.
So if they have been down, so better not to call resumption of classes. And they ask, wait for the technical people to conduct further assessment.
Meanwhile, at 5:22 a.m., the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or PHIVOLCS, recorded a magnitude 5 quake 10 kilometers southeast of Tulunan, Cotabato. It was tectonic in origin and had a depth of 14 kilometers. A magnitude 4.4 aftershock followed at 6:21 a.m., 30 kilometers east of the same town. As of 7 a.m. today, PHIVOLCS has recorded 294 aftershocks, with 204 plotted or located by instruments and 55 felt by people. PHIVOLCS advises affected residents to remain vigilant as aftershocks may persist from days to weeks. Hazel Ferzas, UNTV News and Rescue, Davao City.
The lower house of Congress will tackle the proposal that will repeal the country's national building code. This is the House of Representatives' move as part of the Philippines' disaster preparedness measures. Vincent Arboleda reports why.
A new set of standards for building structures to be made as a part of disaster preparedness has been proposed in the lower house of Congress. The Philippine Building Act of 2019, or House Bill 4008, aims to repeal or replace the Presidential Decree 1046 or the National Building Code of the country. But it is still pending with the lower house of Congress. The proposal comes as the country continues to experience earthquakes. Just yesterday, another strong earthquake rocked parts of Mindanao, where hundreds of buildings suffered damages like cracks or collapse. According to Deputy Speaker and One Pacman Representative Mikey Romero, one of the causes of casualties and severe damages in Mindanao is the non-compliance of the National Building Code. Romero says it's time to repeal the law signed in 1977, 42 years ago. Under the House Bill 4008 submitted by Romero, this will ensure that contractors will follow the agreed plan. A corresponding fines, penalties, and criminal liabilities will be imposed for negligence and for not following the design and standards. This is to make sure that buildings are built with quality and safety is the utmost priority. House Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano also agrees that the 1977 National Building Code should be reviewed.
I think it's about time that we take 3 drastic steps. No? Number 1, to review the National Building Code. Number 2, to make sure that the body implementing it is separate from the body who is monitoring it. So yung magbibigay ng permit, pag yung plano mo at yung plano mo compliant, iba dapat yung nag-i-inspect.
As the lower house of Congress is set to resume on November 4, one of the priorities they will tackle is the proposed bill as part of the country's disaster preparedness measures. Vincent Arboleda, UNTV News and Rescue, House of Representatives.
North Cotabato and other parts of Mindanao have felt several aftershocks following yesterday's 6.6 magnitude earthquake in Tulunan town. And since the Philippines lies along the Pacific Ring of Fire, earthquakes and volcanic activities are frequent. What preparations must be done to be earthquake ready? Find out as Harleen Delgado reports.
The importance of preparing ourselves for disasters is universal. Emergencies can happen anywhere, anytime. But how is disaster preparedness achieved? According to Angelo de la Paz, a training officer of UNTV News and Rescue, one of the things to get ready for is administering first aid on common injuries like bleeding, wounds, and fractures.
Dahil pagka tumama, specifically yung the big one, hindi available ang mga hospitals, hindi rin natin masusure yung availability ng mga rescue, yung mga ambulance services. Kaya it is very important na ang bawat individual, ang bawat family, ang community matuto ng pagpa-first aid.
Carrying a first aid kit on hand is also essential, he adds. A basic first aid kit must contain plaster, sterile gauze dressing, bandages, alcohol-free cleansing wipes, and other necessities in treating injuries. It is also best to prepare cough medicine and painkillers such as paracetamol, aspirin, and ibuprofen. Know the nearest hospitals in your area. When an earthquake occurs, use hard materials such as a basketball or even cooking pan, or anything near you to protect your head. Carry a whistle so that you can notify rescuers of your location if you got stuck inside a collapsed building. Or use other noise-producing items like a cooking pan or pot. Be sure that your go bag has a wet cloth to cover your nose and mouth with to avoid inhaling dust particles. If there is no table or any stable material to run for cover under, duck next to strong pillar or 2 concretes that forms the so-called triangle of life. This way you can be protected for some period of time and avoid getting hit by falling debris. Another option for head protection is a monoblock chair. When there is a scheduled fire and earthquake drill, be sure to participate.
Ang paglahok sa earthquake drill ay ginagawang second in nature na sa atin, ginagawang muscle memory na sa atin kung ano yung mga dapat natin gawin pagka dumating ang lindol. During disaster talaga, lumilindol na, walang magsasabi na sa'yo kung ano yung mga dapat mong gawin.
But always remember that the best thing to do when a calamity strikes is to pray and keep calm. Harleen Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue.
Wish 107.5's global community is getting bigger. After 5 years, the FM station's YouTube channel has now 7 million subscribers. According to Wish 107.5's creator and innovator Kuya Daniel Razon, the station's new milestone is a Filipino pride. Mirasol Bugadil will tell us why.
This has been a good year for Wish 107.5 as it powers through to remain as the #1 FM YouTube channel in the country after reaching 7 million subscribers on October 28. It was in March this year when Wish 1075 reached its 5 million subscriber mark. A few months later, Wish reached 6 million subscribers until the number rose to 7 million and counting. What started as a simple wish for its innovator and creator Kuya Daniel Rezon has paved the way for the birth of Wish's mobile FM studio, which is the simple albeit genius concept that has propelled Wish 1075 to a pop culture phenomenon, according to Mega Magazine. And from there, Wish FM has never stopped to showcase local artists and talents from all around the country and abroad through the Wish Buzz. This proves that original Filipino music, or OPM, continues to flourish.
I think Wish 1075, you've brought a lot of us into the world scene. And because of, for me lang, I'll speak for myself, because of Wish 1075, may mga reaction videos na nakikita ko na hindi nila ako kilala, but they're starting to really want to get to know me, yung mga tao sa ibang lugar.
That's the perfect vehicle talaga for exposing, kasi ang exposure is not just online. The exposure is actually going to people and having the buzz and making people really be able to communicate with the talents.
According to Kuya Daniel Rezon, the station's milestone is also an achievement of all Filipinos.
Ang dala din natin ang karangalan ng Pilipinas at pagpapakita ng husay at talento ng mga awit at mga manglilikha ng awitin na mga Pilipino. And we are very proud na itong ating mga singers, mga composers natin dito sa Pilipinas ngayon ay nakikilala na sa iba't ibang bahagi ng mundo sa pamamagitan ng Wish.
Wish is also known as the music station with a heart for its various forms of advocacy, from recognizing talented artists to providing assistance to their chosen charities. Through Wish 1075, Kuya Daniel Rezon is keen to sustaining a platform that will serve as the gateway to the world for OPM.
Papasalamat tayo una sa Panginoon at sa lahat ng ating mga wishers at mga sumusuporta sa Wish 1075. Mga singers, mga artists natin at yung mga composers natin at sa kabuuan ng industriya ng musikang Pilipino. And makakaasa po sila na with God's help ay papatuloy natin ang pag-i-innovate at pagbibigay ng isang maayos at magandang plataforma para maging bihikulo ng ating mga awiting Pilipino at ng awitin sa kanyang kabuuan, ang musika, ang himig at ang letra na merong kurot at merong magandang naibibigay naman sa kalooban ng isang tao na nag-express ng kanyang damdamin sa pamamagitan ng mga awitin.
Mirasol Abugadil, UNTV, News and Rescue.
And to complete the most significant news for this day, Y News continues. Here are the top stories. A mother who was in the delivery room and a foreman share their experiences after survived from a strong earthquake that jolted Mindanao Tuesday morning. Janice Ingente tells us why.
At 1 a.m. on Tuesday, Sarah Jane Carvalho asked to be brought to a hospital in Digo City because of stomach cramps. 8 hours later, she was brought to a hospital's delivery room when suddenly a 6.6 magnitude earthquake halted some parts of Mindanao. Sarah Jane and other patients in the medical center of Digos Cooperative Hospital were immediately evacuated.
Ila kong gi-wheelchair. Sa delivery room. Gidala ko lagi sa gawas. Tabangan ko nilang karga.
At noon that day, Sarah Jane gave birth to her first child. The new mother says she felt relieved when her baby boy came out of her after the quake because it was hard to run when the ground was shaking. She and her baby are now safe. Another bright story during that day is that of Jonas Martins. The foreman shares his experience after being saved from posts that fell from a building they are constructing in Digos. He was making post layouts when the earthquake rocked the city. Jonas says when the ground was shaking, some posts fell. He just closed his eyes and even passed out a few moments. He was able to recover and get up after pricking his belly. Jonas is now recovering from abrasions and possible arm fracture. Digo City felt an intensity 7 earthquake yesterday. At least 6 have been confirmed dead and more than 200 got injured. More than 7,000 establishments in the region 11 and 12, including houses, hospitals, and schools, are either partially or totally damaged. More than 300,000 aftershocks have been recorded by the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or PHIVOLCS, since yesterday. Authorities continue to monitor the situation, ready to evacuate or address the needs of affected residents. Janice Inhente, UNTV, News and Rescue, Digo City.
Meanwhile, the Department of Health is looking into proposing sin tax on salty products. According to the DOH, it has been found in many countries that when unhealthy products are taxed, the intake will decrease. Rosalie Cos explains why.
High blood pressure and possibility of heart attack and stroke. These are the health risks of consuming salty food products. According to the World Health Organization, or WHO, a person must consume only 2 grams of sodium every day. But Filipinos have so much daily sodium intake, says the Department of Health, or DOH.
Ang cause ng hypertension sa atin maliban sa paninigarilyo ay pagkain ng maalat. Dapat po isang tao 2 grams lang ho per day. Tayo po ang konsumo natin ay 11 to 15 grams per day. So tayo po ay 4 to 5 times ang Pilipino.
And to decrease health risk posed by eating salty food products, the Department of Health is thinking of proposing additional tax on salty products. This is to encourage people to eat healthy foods instead of salty ones.
And it has been found in many countries na that when you tax products that are unhealthy, talagang nagde-decrease kasi yung intake and the companies reformulate yung kanilang products.
Meanwhile, sin tax on sugary drinks has been implemented. Because of this, according to the WHO, the Philippines can avert 24,000 premature deaths linked to diseases such as diabetes, stroke, and heart failure. Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue, Malacanang.
The death of ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi has no significant effect on ISIS-inspired groups in the country, according to the AFP Western Mindanao Command. Dante Amento tells us why.
Some local terrorist groups linked with the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, or ISIS, have no direct connection with the international terrorist group at this time. This after Isnilon Hapilon's death during the Marawi siege in 2017. Hapilon was considered as the ISIS emir in the Southeast Asia. The influence of ISIS on local terrorist groups like the Abu Sayyaf and the Maute groups and the Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters, or BIFF, is already weak, according to the Armed Forces of the Philippines. The AFP Western Mindanao Command believes there is a small possibility for them to conduct retaliatory attacks.
Yeah, wala talagang epekto ito, no? Locally sa pagka-neutralize kay Baghdadi. Dahil nga hindi naman siya kilala. Itong mga grupo na ito, itong local terrorists.
Presently, there is no ISIS leader in the country. Meanwhile, the AFP continue their pursuit operations against local terrorist groups. Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue, Zamboanga City.
Agasa has spotted a new low-pressure area 580 kilometers east-southeast of Hinatuan, Surigao del Sur. It will bring scattered rain showers and thunderstorms in the Visayas and Mindanao. The same weather condition will be experienced in Cagayan, Isabela, Aurora, Quezon, and the Bicol region due to the effect of the easterlies. Isolated rain showers and thunderstorms will prevail over Metro Manila and the rest of the country. Meanwhile, the water level of Angat Dam has increased to 186.63 meters as of 6 a.m. today. That's over a meter more than yesterday's 185.42 meters record. And for the news abroad, British lawmakers approved Prime Minister Boris Johnson's plan to hold a snap general election on December 12. Lawmakers in the House of Commons voted 438 to 20 in favor of holding a national election. Jovic Burmas has the details.
Britain will hold its first December election in almost a century after Prime Minister Boris Johnson won approval from Parliament on Tuesday for an early ballot aimed at breaking the Brexit deadlock. After the European Union granted a third delay to the divorce that was originally supposed to take place on March 29th, the United Kingdom, its parliament and its electorate remained divided on how or indeed whether to go ahead with Brexit. Johnson, who had promised to deliver Brexit on October 31st, do or die, demanded a December 12 election after Parliament, where he has no majority, frustrated his attempts to ratify the last-minute divorce deal he struck with the EU earlier this month. In a rare parliamentary success for Johnson after a string of defeats, his short bill calling for a December 12 election was approved 438 to 20 in the House of Commons. The bill now goes to the House of Lords.
We are left with no choice but to go to the country to break free from this impasse and to allow us all to submit as we must in all humility to the judgment of the electorate and to allow us to make our case and above all to allow a new and revitalised Parliament with a new mandate to deliver on the will of the people and get Brexit done.
Before the vote, Johnson had said Parliament was obstructing Brexit and thus damaging the economy by preventing investment decisions and corroding faith in democracy. The first December election in Britain since 1923 would be highly unpredictable. Brexit has variously fatigued and enraged swathes of voters while eroding traditional loyalties to the two major parties, Conservative and Labour. Jovic Burmas, UNTV News and Rescue, London, United Kingdom.
A British tourist who lost his foot in a shark attack in northern Australia had thought it was just his friend pulling on his leg quite hard. Alistair Radden, 28, was swimming with his friend Danny Maggs, 22, off Airlie Beach on a boat tour when the pair came into contact with a shark. The Queensland Ambulance Service said Radden had his right foot bitten off in the attack that had Maggs suffered serious calf lacerations. The pair were treated on the tour boat by two international paramedics before the rescue helicopter arrived. There have been at least 4 shark attacks in the White Sundays since September last year, one of them fatal. Meanwhile, Facebook-owned WhatsApp has filed a lawsuit against Israel's NSO group, alleging the firm was behind cyber attacks that infected devices with malicious software. WhatsApp accuses the company of sending malware to roughly 1,400 mobile phones for the purposes of surveillance. The affected users had numbers from several countries, including Bahrain, the United Arab Emirates, and Mexico, according to the lawsuit. NSO Group, which makes software for surveillance, disputed the allegations. WhatsApp said it is seeking a permanent injunction banning NSO from using its service. A pet cafe in China where dogs are dyed black and white to look like panda cubs has triggered a heated online debate over the treatment of animals. Kath Dumaraos details why.
A pet cafe in Chengdu, southwest China went viral online last week after the cafe owner dyed his 6 baby Chow Chow dogs black and white to resemble pandas. Co-founder of the recently opened Candy Planet Pet Cafe and owner of the Chow Chows, Lu Yuning, said that he and his fellow business partners wanted to give their cafe a unique selling point. According to Lu, currently there are many dog cafes, cat cafes, raccoon cafes, alpaca cafes, duck cafes. They think they are not creative. They want something novel. So far, in terms of visitor numbers, it has paid off. They have nearly doubled to 70 to 80 visitors per day since Lu posted pictures of his panda-like dogs on social media, he said. However, some animal rights groups, including PETA, are less impressed with his panda dyeing. People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, or PETA, said in a statement, coating dogs with chemical dyes is stressful and can even cause allergic reactions on their skin, nose, and eyes. PETA urges travelers to stay away from any business that exploits animals for a money-grabbing gimmick and social media likes. Lou says he used imported dyes on his dogs, and he said he is sure that it is not harmful for the dogs. He also added that he dyed the dog's hair from the middle of the hair rather than the bottom. Lou's Cafe also offers a pet bathing, showering, and pet hotel service, and even a pet dyeing service, charging 1,500 yuan or $212 per pet that is dyed. But so far, customers have appeared more interested in taking photos with Lou's dogs than signing up for his dyeing service. When asked what he will do when the dye grows out and his pet dogs start to look more like Chow Chows again, Lou said he will dye them again to look like pandas and continue doing so for a long time to come. Kat Dumaraos, UNTV News and Rescue.
Samsung Electronics on Tuesday unveiled a new design for a smartphone that folds into a square, racing ahead in folding devices after it launched its first model in September. Its new design enables the device to fold in half horizontally. However, Samsung did not provide details about when the square folding phone would be launched. The world's largest smartphone maker is powering ahead with the launch of 5G phones and $2,000 foldable handsets as it battles rivals Apple Incorporated and Huawei Technologies Company Limited in an increasingly saturated market. The composer of ASOP Year 8 Grand Finals entry entitled Sagwan says she believes in God's perfect time. She also invites ASOP viewers to be sure to log on to www.asoptv.com and vote and power view your favorite ASOP Year 8 Grand Finalist before noon of November 10. Nina Armilio tells us why.
Though her song composition did not win at the July monthly finals, 31-year-old Isa Narag is thankful her song entry Sagwan was given another chance to step on ASOP monthly final stage in August. And that time, Sagwan was hailed as the ASOP Year 8 10th Grand Finalist.
Sa ngayon po naniniwala po ako sa God's perfect timing po talaga. Nagtiwala lang po tayo kasi yung awitin po sobrang dumaan po siya talaga sa butas ng karayom. Pero thanks God po talaga. Lahat po ng glory po, binibigay ko po, in-offer ko po lahat sa Panginoon.
For Luan Kulala, who will interpret Isa's composition at the Grand Finals, the key to performing well the song offered to God is prayer plus preparation.
Sa bawat sagwan, salita mo ang sandigan.
Magpa-practice ako ng mabuti para mabigay ko lahat-lahat sa Grand Finals.
When they heard the improved version of the song during the August monthly finals, the judges were impressed with its title and theme. The ASOP judges also liked the way its lyrics were written.
Gusto ko yung metaphor na itong kanta na to eh. Iba yung approach niya sa lyrics.
I love the tubig at dagat na metaphor. I've used that in past songs. Pero first time akong nakarinig ng Sagwan.
What will the reactions of the panel of judges to Sagwan be on the big day? All those are in store on November 10, 7 p.m. at the New Frontier Theater. To support Sagwan and to add more votes through online voting, go to www.asoptv.com. Support it by power viewing its music video on youtube.com/asoptv and on www.asoptv.com until noon of the Grand Finals Day. Be sure to visit a Song of Praise Facebook page for complete details. Nina Armilio, UNTV News and Rescue.
And those are the reasons behind the news this October 30, 2019. On behalf of Alex Baltazar and Angelo Castro III, I am William Theo, and before we close, we will recap with today's significant sound bites. Because we need to know, we will always ask why. Good evening.
Na kung maaari, kung talagang hindi na po talaga kasya, ay wag muna po nating
ipupumilit na sumakay. Dahil po ipagbabawal talaga ng Philippine Coast Guard yung sobra po tayo sa bilang ng mga pasahero na nakatalaga ng ating reglamento.
We will be deploying our available personnel to look at the flow of the traffic, yung exodus of the public, the motorists from Metro Manila going to the provinces.
Yung lead kasi pag nalalanghap natin yan, then pwedeng maging cause ng sakit yan, particularly yung mga neurological illness. So ito yung natin, warning lang natin sa ating mga kabayan, tingnan nila mabuti yung kanilang binibiling kandila.
Dahil pagka tumama, specifically yung the big one, hindi available ang mga hospitals, hindi rin natin masusure yung availability ng mga rescue, yung mga ambulance services. Kaya it is very important na ang bawat individual, ang bawat family, ang community matuto ng pagpa-first aid.
Ang dala din natin ang karangalan ng Pilipinas at pagpapakita ng husay at talento ng mga awit at mga manglilikha ng awitin na mga Pilipino. And we are very proud na itong ating mga singers, mga composers natin dito sa Pilipinas ngayon ay nakikilala na sa iba't ibang bahagi ng mundo sa pamamagitan ng Wish.